Tactics in Tennis by Justice Schneider. What is a tactical strategy? A tactic is an action or a strategy carefully planned to achieve a specific goal in an action. A strategy is a plan of action designed to achieve a long-term or overall aim. Tactical awareness is the athlete's ability to read the gameplay. They are able to identify tactical problems or opportunities, then being able to execute a strategic plan to their own technical ability. Tennis is an activity that implies high time constraints and requires coincidence anticipation, which means the ability to produce a response that accurately coincides with the arrival of a moving stimulus. For example, being able to hit a moving tennis ball accurately into the required area of the box with a tennis racket. In a regular standard tennis game, the serve and return are important, standardized movements. The receiving tennis players have to cope with the very high time pressure caused by the high serve velocity, which can reach up to 200 km per hour. Men's tennis games have reached a threshold that in some cases, reaction time is actually slower than the opposing player's serve. The tactical strategy I have chosen is a proper serve, finishing off with a volley. The positioning and footing for an attacking athlete should have their feet slightly wider than shoulder width and slightly arched over back, bent forward with the athlete's hand holding the racket with a closed hand pivot, ready for a serve. The athlete should be standing on the back line of the court opposite to the opposing player. When the athlete is defending, the athlete should be standing with bent knees ready for the ball to hit any part of the court. Here is me playing out my tactic. I'm not an experienced tennis player, but I sure can hit the ball like a legend. I believe this is a great and effective tactic because it's an easy drill that needs very little coordination, but yet it's a basic play throughout the game unless you are at a cognitive stage in tennis. In this video, I have executed a good serve and attack hit following my tactical strategy. I have not positioned myself at the back corner, which should have been corrected. The ideal positioning for an experienced tennis player would be bent knees ready for quick, fast reactions to sprint to either side of the court, which means standing on the opposing side of the opposing player would create an easier chance to reach the ball. A focused head and blocking out any external sounds is a great factor to have a steady head and make it easier to focus during a game.
In this guide, we'll show you the technique for hitting the smash. The smash has a very similar action to the serve, and your intention when hitting a smash should be to win the point or at least make it very difficult for your opponent to make the return. A smash is usually the answer to a poor lob, where your opponent has tried to lift the ball over your head, but hasn't hit the shot with enough depth or height, meaning that you can reach and hit the ball overhead. You can also hit a smash off the backhand side. Although the principles for hitting a forehand and backhand are the same, the forehand is a more attacking shot and is more likely to win you the point. Let's start with the grip. Since the smash action is very similar to the serve action, the grip is also the same, the continental grip. The easiest way to find the continental grip is to hold the racket as if you were using the edge of the frame as the blade of an axe. If you're right-handed, hold the racket with the edge of the frame pointing at the ground, and make sure the base of the V between your thumb and index finger is to the left of the center of the handle. For left-handed players, the V should be to the right of center. A smash is played in response to an attempted lob, so you'll usually start off close to the net in a good ready position, poised to play a regular volley. As soon as you realize that your opponent has hit a ball high that will go over your head, you need to move quickly into position so that you can play the shot on your forehand side. Turn your shoulders away from the ball as you move and begin to take your racket back as if you were getting ready to throw it overarm up at the ball in the air. At the same time, begin moving backwards with small side steps to get yourself in the right position beneath the ball, making sure that you're watching the ball all the time. Try to get in a position where the ball is slightly in front of you as it begins to drop, and make sure you're sideways onto the flight path of the ball. As you take the racket back, raise your other arm in front of you to balance and keep your feet about shoulders width apart. Some players use the free arm to point at the ball to get a good position as the ball begins to fall. As the ball begins to drop, you should hit through it with a serve action. Throw the racket head up at the ball and aim to contact it slightly in front of you and a little to your non-racket side. Your elbow should be straight as you contact the ball so that you hit it at full height and the racket head should move very fast. Hit the ball down, either deep or angled into your opponent's court. Follow through across your body and then recover quickly and move back to a ready position about 2 meters back from the net. Watch your opponent so that if the ball is returned, you're ready to volley, smash again, or react and play another shot.
That previous video was an experienced tennis athlete doing the strategy. As you saw, the athlete thrusted themselves towards the ball to get that extra power. She then goes back to her starting position as quickly as possible, ready for the next volley. The hand grip and footing was explained just like in my tactical strategy. She then commences a volley. In this executed play, you can see how much more inexperienced I am, as I hit the ball way too low because I wasn't focused or aiming the racket at the correct trajectory to make a satisfying hit. A way I could improve myself is to use a closed hand pivot and stand my feet front to face the net as I uncoil. Alternatively, the plot is to point my feet forward as I set up for the shot just as I would on an open or semi-open stance, and just be ready to attack. The stage I would say I'm in is a cognitive stage. I believe this tactic will be very effective because it is the most simple yet effective movement concept in tennis. It doesn't take too much skill to master but still requires repetitive practice to master. Thank you.